Have you ever looked at a successful online business and just wondered, how do they really get there? From just an idea to reaching customers all over the world.
Mm.
Or maybe you're already in the e-commerce game, perhaps looking to sharpen up your strategy a bit. Today, we're diving deep, really deep into the essential skills and the tools you need to get a successful e-commerce venture off the ground or even scale one up. Our
Mhm.
mission, really, for you today is simple. Cut through all that noise online. Show you the concrete steps, the practical resources you'll actually need, stage by stage.
It's fascinating, isn't it? Because so many people just focus on the website, the storefront. But launching an e-commerce business, it's this multifaceted journey. It really demands strategic thinking, careful execution across everything from that first spark of an idea right through to keeping it growing sustainably. It's much more about building a whole ecosystem, not just a web page.
Right. And before you even dream about building a product or coding a website, you have to ask that fundamental question. Who are we actually building this for? What specific problem are we solving for them? It absolutely starts there. Market research.
Absolutely. And it's not just ticking a box. It's really digging in, collecting and analyzing data about your target market, yeah, but also your competitors, customer needs, the trends. It forces you to ask, how well do you truly know your potential customer? And the competitive landscape you're stepping into, what are those needs they maybe haven't even articulated yet?
Okay, so you gather all this information, this raw data, but the real skill, I guess, is making sense of it all, right?
Yeah.
Being able to interpret it, visualize it, so you can actually see the patterns, the opportunities. What are some common traps people fall into there? Especially beginners, maybe getting swamped by data.
That's a great point. Analysis paralysis is very real. You can drown in data. The key is focusing on actionable insights. Don't just stare at the market size number. Look at growth rates within specific niches. Segment your potential customers. Try and spot those underserved opportunities. Tools like, Excel and Google Sheets are your bread and butter here. They let you make charts, graphs, make it digestible. But if you've got larger data sets or want more sophisticated visuals, something like Tableau is incredibly powerful, helps you see those hidden trends much faster.
Makes sense. And beyond the existing data, sometimes the best stuff comes straight from the horse's mouth, right? From potential customers. But how do you craft surveys that get you real answers, not just what you want to hear? There's an art to that, isn't there?
Oh, definitely an art. Good survey design is crucial. You need direct feedback on your product idea, the value proposition, pricing, even desired features. The biggest mistake, asking leading questions or simple yes-no stuff that doesn't tell you why. Platforms like SurveyMonkey, Typeform, Google Forms, they're great tools for creating and sending surveys out. But remember, the tool's only as good as the questions. Focus on open-ended questions. Get those behavioral insights.
Okay, so understanding the who
Yeah.
and then connecting that to the how they actually search online, that feels like a really critical link. Once you know who you're targeting, you absolutely need to know the words, the phrases they're typing into Google, right?
Yeah.
That's keyword research.
Exactly. And it's deeper than just traffic. It's about understanding the user's intent, connecting this to the bigger picture, knowing the search volume, how tough the competition is for certain keywords, how difficult they are to rank for. This directly impacts how visible you are online and ultimately how much it costs you to get a customer. For a new player, finding those keywords with decent volume but lower competition, that can be a huge win. Tools like Google Keyword Planner, Moz, SEMrush, they're pretty much essential for digging up those insights.
Okay, so homework done. Market research nailed down. You really get your audience. Now, how do you turn that understanding into something real, something tangible,
Yeah.
something your customers won't just use, but actually, love? That's product design, right?
Yeah, that's where the magic happens, yeah. It's all about creating, testing, iterating on a prototype that genuinely solves that problem you identified or meets that need. What's really fascinating is how these skills bridge that gap, between an abstract idea and something functional, user-friendly, something that resonates. It's very much an iterative process, bringing that vision to life step by step.
Let's talk UI first.
Yeah.
User interface. That's often about the look and feel, the aesthetics, the layout, making it look good, making it easy to click around. But beyond just looking pretty, what are the principles that actually drive conversions in e-commerce and help build a brand in such a crowded space?
Yeah, that's the real challenge. It's not just aesthetics. Good UI has to incorporate solid principles of usability, accessibility, visual hierarchy. It needs to guide the user smoothly. For e-commerce specifically, it's often balancing your unique brand look with established patterns shoppers already know, reducing friction, basically. Tools like Sketch, Figma, Adobe XD, fantastic for creating wireframes, mockups, even clickable prototypes. They're like the blueprints for the visual side.
Right. So if UI is the shiny dashboard, well-labeled and good-looking, then UX, user experience, is more about the actual drive, right? How it feels to interact with everything, the flow, the interactions, the feedback you get. For an online store, that ride is everything. A beautiful site with a clunky checkout. That's a deal breaker.
Precisely. UX is all about user-centered design, deep empathy for what the customer is going through step by step, and rigorous testing. You need to optimize those interactions, the user flows, the feedback loops. Often this means watching real people try to use your site to see where they stumble. Tools like Envision, Marvel, or Balsamic are great here. They let you build interactive prototypes that feel like the real thing, so you can test and tweak before you write any code.
In kind of overseeing all of this, from that initial market insight right through to the final polished product, the product management, the orchestrator, bringing it all together, where do you see teams or maybe solo founders struggling most with that role?
Often it's prioritization. There are always more ideas than resources, right? Product management means planning, constantly prioritizing what gets built next and executing that development, often using agile methods to stay flexible. The challenge is that constant balancing act. Technical feasibility, user desire, and business value. Project management tools like Jira, Trello, or Asana become really important. They help manage that backlog, the sprints, the tasks, keep everyone on the same page.
Okay, so let's say you've got this fantastic product. It's designed, tested, ready to roll. But here's the million-dollar question, literally sometimes. How does this brilliant idea actually make money? How does it sustain itself? That's where the business model comes in, defining the engine of the whole thing.
That's exactly right. The business model is your blueprint for how you create value, how you deliver that value, and crucially, how you capture some of it back as revenue. Connecting it back. This is where your cool idea stops being just a concept and starts becoming a potentially profitable, sustainable business. It's the economic logic.
The business model canvas comes up a lot here. It's a great visual tool, simple framework for outlining the core bits.
Uh,
But for our listeners thinking strategically, what's a common trap people fall into when using it? Maybe underestimating a key resource or being too optimistic about revenue.
A really common trap is making big assumptions without validating them, especially around who your customer segments really are and how your revenue streams will actually work in practice. The canvas is brilliant for mapping out your value proposition, customers, channels, costs, metrics, all that. Both the standard business model canvas and the lean canvas are excellent tools. But the key thing, they're living documents. You have to constantly test those assumptions in the real world and be ready to tweak the model.
And once you have that model mapped out, you need to project how it might perform financially, right? Check if it's actually viable. Financial modeling time.
Absolutely critical. It's how you stress test your assumptions with numbers. Financial modeling isn't just, forecasting a profit and loss statement. It's doing break-even analysis. Understanding your unit economics, how much you make per sale versus how much it costs. It's running sensitivity analysis. What happens if my customer acquisition cost goes up 10% or my conversion rate drops? Again, Excel or Google Sheets are fundamental here. You build these robust, dynamic models to really understand the financial health and potential of your venture.
Right. So model solidified, financials understood. Now, you probably need to convince other people, right? Investors, partners, maybe even key hires.
Yeah.
You need to tell your story. That's the pitch deck.
Exactly. Your pitch deck is your narrative, boiled down, compelling and concise. It usually covers, here's the problem, here's our unique solution, here's the market opportunity, look at the traction we have, here's our amazing team, here's the competition, and here's our business model, and yes, here are the financial projections. It needs to look good, sure, but more importantly, it needs to be persuasive, maybe even emotionally resonant. PowerPoint, Google Slides. Those are the standard tools for creating the deck. But the real power is in the story you craft.
All right. Validated product, check. Clear business model, check. Compelling story, check. Now for, well, maybe the fun part, getting that amazing product out there into the hands of actual eager customers. This is where digital marketing really comes into its own, turning all that hard work into sales.
Yeah, this is where you actively promote and sell online using a whole mix of channels and strategies. And it raises that big question. The digital world is so noisy. How do you actually put through? How do you connect with your audience directly, build a relationship, not just shout into the void?
Let's take content marketing. It's way more than just writing blog posts, isn't it? It's about creating stuff that's genuinely valuable, stuff that attracts, educates, engages. and, yeah, ultimately converts people.
Yeah.
How do you make sure your content actually adds value and doesn't just add to the noise?
It comes back to solving problems for your audience, often before they're even ready to buy. It's about showcasing benefits, sharing customer stories, offering practical tips, maybe deep dive case studies. For e-commerce, think buyer's guides, how-to videos, maybe even fun, shareable content related to your niche. Platforms like WordPress for your blog, Medium for articles, or even using Shopify's built-in tools for landing pages. They're all great ways to publish and share that valuable content.
And there's social media marketing, which feels like it's changed so much. It's less about just broadcasting updates now and more about building real communities, right?
Right.
What's the strategy for getting genuine engagement that actually leads somewhere, like sales, instead of just chasing vanity metrics like likes?
It's definitely about authentic interaction now. Social media lets you share updates, sure, but also run super targeted ads, host live Q&As, share that valuable content we just talked about. The strategic piece is picking the right platforms first. Where does your audience actually hang out? Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and then tailoring your voice, your content, your interaction specifically for that platform's community. You're trying to foster loyalty, build trust, and then gently guide them towards a purchase.
Email marketing often gets called out as having one of the best ROIs. That direct line to subscribers and customers using personalized automated messages, why is it still so powerful?
Its strength is that direct personal connection. You own that list, unlike social media followers. It's brilliant for retention and driving sales through things like well-crafted newsletters, automated welcome emails when someone signs up, those crucial abandoned cart reminders, or even highly targeted campaigns when you launch a new product. The ability to segment your list and personalize messages is key. Services like MailChimp, HubSpot, ConvertKit, they give you the tools, the automation, the analytics to do this really effectively.
Okay, last big piece here for visibility. Search engine marketing, SEM, this feels critical, making sure people actually find you when they go searching on Google or Bing. Talk about the interplay between the organic side, SEO, and the paid side, PPC.
Yeah, SESI is really about attracting traffic from search engines, and it has two main flavors. There's organic traffic, which you earn through search engine optimization, or SEO, making your website and content rank well naturally. And then there's paid traffic through pay-per-click or PPC ads paying to appear for specific keywords. For e-commerce, SEO means optimizing product pages, category pages, blog content, site structure, the works. PPC means running targeted ad campaigns, maybe on Google Ads, for immediate visibility, especially on those high-intent commercial keywords. You need to constantly monitor performance, fix technical SEO issues, and run those PPC campaigns with a very clear eye on the return on investment. Tools like Google Analytics are crucial for understanding visitor behavior, Google Search Console for checking your organic health, and Google Ads for managing those paid campaigns.
Wow, okay. So, pulling this all together, what does it mean for you listening right now? We've really walked through this whole landscape, haven't we? The skills, the tools you need to launch an e-commerce business, from understanding your market way back at the start to designing something great, building a solid business model, and then getting it out there. It's definitely a lot, but hopefully less daunting now, maybe. It's an amazing space to be in.
It absolutely is. And, while we've covered a lot of ground, a lot of examples, the specific skills you'll need to focus on, the specific tools you'll use, that really can vary. It depends so much on your unique product, your market, your specific goals. If we connect this to the bigger picture, launching an e-commerce venture, it's not really like reaching a finish line, is it? It's a continuous journey. Constant research, testing, tweaking, iterating, adapting until you find what really clicks for your business. And the digital world, consumer behavior, it's always changing. So you got to keep learning, keep adapting. There's always more.
Okay, so building on that idea of constant change, here's a final thought for you to mull over. Given how fast technology and customer expectations are evolving, what's maybe the one skill you think will become absolutely most critical for e-commerce success in, say, the next 5 years? And